Hello, welcome to Angel Peach. I'm Jamie, and that's Lev, and we have a special guest with us tonight, today, this afternoon, this morning, whatever day it is, Sunday, I think. So, would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm not sure how I should take the special part of special guest.
I don't think she meant it in the little yellow bus kind of way. I don't think. Well, it is Jamie, so.
No, I'm just wondering. I'm Peter Serefine, host of Liberty Lighthouse, Postal Pete Mailman Extraordinaire, Constable, and among other things. Just way too many jobs.
I didn't do it. I swear I didn't do it. Please don't.
I stand on the Fifth Amendment.
Y'all are in another state. I don't have jurisdiction to come chase you down. You're okay.
I guess I'll make sure when I go up and visit Beaver, if I ever do that, I will make sure to stay away from your part of town. Oh, so as usual, we're gonna go into the daily hello. As soon as I can find the music. Are you ready?
I are, my dear. Good evening, my fellow Ain't You Peachers. It's afternoon. It's a happy Sunday. It's the 114th day with 251 remaining in 2022. Today is National Pet Parents Day, and that recognizes the pet parents who go to the extra mile to care for their fur babies. And there is a very special connection on a unique bond between a pet and its owner. It's a unique relationship which can often last for many years and is often a vital part of the pet parent's life. Their loved pets are considered to be a member of the family. They just don't mop the floors or clean up the dishes. Well, they lick them. It's also Fashion Revolution Day. It takes place on the anniversary of the Rand Plaza building collapse. On this day, organizers encourage people to ask their favorite clothing brands, who made my clothes? The goal is to create greater transparency in the fashion industry chain to reveal some of the deplorable conditions in which clothing is made. A garment factory in Dankur, Bangladesh collapsed, killing 1,133 workers and injuring 2,500 500 more. This was the deadliest disaster in the history of the clothing manufacturing industry. The Rand Plaza building was known to have been built with substandard materials under faulty conditions, and yet the factory remained very active up until the deadly collapse. It's also National Pigs in a Blanket Day. Pigs in a blanket is often hot dogs or sausage wrapped in a biscuit or croissant, dough, and baked. Pigs in a blanket are generally served as an appetizer or as a breakfast. It's day 772 of 14 to Flatten the Curve. Thank you, Liberty Lighthouse, who just happens to be on with us this very evening. I switched labels in my wife's spice cabinet. She hasn't noticed yet, but time is cumin. Ooh, that's bad.
Yeah, those jokes are bad.
How do you find so many bad jokes?
I have this website that I use called reallyBadCrappyJokes.com.
And they are really, I've heard a couple of, but
have you ever considered using good jokes in your daily hello?
Oh no, that would break the whole routine. Why put an honest to goodness joke in there? No, these terrible ones that make you groan and go, "Oh my goodness, no."
No. So you posted a little tidbit on Twitter.
I did.
USPS.
Very interesting Twitter.
And it kind of picked our attention.
Yeah.
So
well, I had been watching the Stu Peters documentary shortly before starting my mail route last week. And shortly after watching the Stu Peters documentary, surprise, surprise, a conspiracy theory popped into my head. A potential conspiracy theory, I should say.
Okay.
What's going on requires a little bit of background information. So I'm a rural mail carrier. I don't get paid a salary. I'm paid an evaluation, or I'm sorry, I don't get paid by the hours, by hourly. I get paid a salary that's based on an evaluation. So at some point, somebody calculates how long they think it should take me to do my job on average, and that's how I get paid. So every now and then they change how they do that calculation. Well, one of the recent changes is, y'all know that little blue scanner that your mailman carries with you, scans all the parcels and everything. Well, that thing's GPS enabled. And if you've ever had a package that you're supposed to have gotten, but it wasn't on your front porch, and you called the post office and they say, well, we'll find it. Well, that's how they find it. They look up where the mail carrier was when they scanned it and go, hey, idiot, you want the 212 East High instead of 212 West High, or whatever the case may be. And they go find it.
Right.
Well, now they're taking that GPS stuff just a little bit further. And this is where it gets a little questionable.
Well, I do need to say that, the commercial that Rhea does about all my conspiracy theories have come true. I need some new ones. Are you going to give me one? Are you going to give me a conspiracy theory?
Maybe. I'm going to give you what's going on.
Okay.
The conspiracy theory part is all up to you. So here's what's going on. They're using the GPS coordinates, they being the United States Postal Service, are now using the GPS coordinates off of that scanner to map our route. So my route is, roughly 35 miles worth of driving. And they all know where it is. There's, we've got turn by turn instructions and stuff like that, but they're taking that even a step further. Each of us mail carriers who is assigned to a full-time route is spending a day sitting at a computer where we're going through and pinpointing on the computer screen on a satellite maps, not only the exact position of your mailbox, but also the exact position of your house where we leave packages. Now, the reason that they're doing this for the first time ever, the rural carrier is supposedly going to be paid for the amount of time that we spend walking back and forth to houses and our vehicles. We've never gotten anything for that before. So it seems like a win to us. But like I said, I had just watched this big conspiratorial video by Stu Peters the day they announced that they were doing all this stuff, and I'm driving around on my route that day going, okay, what happens when the post office isn't the only federal agency that has this information in the future?
That's true.
Interagencies exchange information on a regular basis.
Well, it could also go along with, like, they're wanting to digitalize the money so they can see every dime that you spend. They can see what you're buying, what you're not buying, what you're eating, what you're drinking, where you're going.
Well, I mean, they're doing for a legitimate reason, which is often the case for a lot of the things that our government does. And to be quite honest, all of the information that they're looking for is already there. It already exists. So we're not exposing anything. I mean, you can go to Google Earth or whatever, and you can pull up some pictures of people's houses and all that kind of stuff. But what we've got going, what the post office is doing is manually verifying this information with the person who's at your house 5 days a week.
Interesting.
So now, do you believe they're going to go to an automated system and cut you out of the equation and drone it?
I would love that.
They could drone the mail in.
I don't want to talk about this anymore. I want to hope and pray for what he said.
Well, I mean, isn't that what Amazon's doing?
That they are testing that.
Yeah, they're testing the drone thing.
And that's a good point. I hadn't even thought of that. I had thought of like really bad stuff, like
nefarious things. Like this way, they can put a cruise missile in your front door as compared to,
for example,
just hitting the front porch.
Creepy.
Or maybe it's COVID 2021 now, and everybody has to stay in your house. And just to make sure that you do, we have drones flying around
aimed at your house,
neighborhoods, checking everybody's front doors to make sure you don't leave your home.
Well, see, that would work for me. They could do that off my GPS coordinates for my mail. I really wish they would.
Well, his is at the post office, but
nuke the post office. That's fine.
I mean, okay, so going a little bit further, martial law.
Right. It's again, it's not information that isn't already out there. It's just the fact that it's being manually verified.
It can be right.
And then the fact that I would assume that makes it a little easier to search if you've got somebody databasing all of this information.
If they don't like what you post on Twitter, who's to say they can't come knock on your door? Now, look at China, for example. They're running the drones around the housing areas, telling people to keep your faces inside, quit bitching about being locked down, stay locked down. I'm surprised there's some putz in there with his pellet gun going, watch it, ting.
I'm kind of at the point where I don't, I have no doubts about all this, like, leading to where we're thinking it's leading, especially with them all of a sudden coming up with something new just recently and trying to enforce all these new mask things.
Well, and it also makes it easier for Agenda 2030 as well.
That
when they know exactly how big your domicile is, exactly how much mail you get, exactly what mail you get. It's not like they don't know everything except for digging through the trash on Wednesday before it gets dumped in the big green truck that pulls up in front of the house. They know everything about anybody they want to with literally a push of the button. God, I hate using that word literally, but I mean, or figuratively, I suppose it's still a push of the button.
Kind of also makes you wonder how long before our mail's going to actually have a GPS thing on it. I mean,
well, if you've ever questioned, like, does the government really know what you get in the mail? Sign up for what's called informed delivery.
Really?
Informed. That's something we sign up for at the post office?
Yeah, you can do it on, USPS.com. or .gov or whatever. I don't know, the post office website.
Informed delivery?
Yeah, informed delivery. So,
Okay.
have you ever seen those ginormous sorting machines that they use in the mail? Video of them. They're like ginormous things where letters are flying by, 1,000 miles an hour, and it's actually reading the barcodes on those letters, every one as they're flying past. I'm like, faster than you can possibly imagine. Well, it's also taking a picture of every piece of mail. And when you sign up for informed delivery, you'll get a text message or an email or something. I don't know. I don't do it. I don't care about my mail that much. But you'll get a listing of, hey, this is what you can expect in the mail today. There is a disclaimer that says, within the next 10 days, just in case it gets missorted or something like that. But
oh goodness.
Yeah, you can get a picture of your mail before you get your mail.
Oh, wow. You're looking that up, right, Jamie? And what you can do.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, as you say, what you can do while she's looking that up, what the rest of us can do is go over to mojolaserpros.com, because those machines are working as quick as anything. And Mr. Ron over there at Romika Designs, his laser is just as good as those mail reader lasers. And all you have to do is go to mojolaserpros.com. That takes you to the portal right in there to Romika Designs. Order up. Man, they get the card case. They've got the Mother's Day stuff they're getting ready. They got the Doc Thompson cutting board. And all you have to do is go to mojolaserpros.com. What'd you find out about signing up? Or did you?
I put the link in your in the message, so that way.
Okay, so then we'll put that in the.
Do some research tomorrow on that.
Cool. Well, we'll go ahead and stick it in the chat room too, and everybody else can go sign up and see what dirty mail we're getting from.
Okay. Now, do not yell at your mail carrier when you get a picture of whatever I don't know. Big Dongs Are Us magazine that you think and it doesn't show up today. Do not yell at your
well, he might just be borrowing it. It'll get there. Sticky, but it'll get there.
I have a really good mail lady that's been here since I've been here, and I always know when she's working and when she's not, because the days that she's not, my stuff is either late, not here, they don't come to the door, they just throw it in the mailbox. She meets me out in the driveway. It's like, I have no problems with her. It's her.
I have a lot of people
fill in
when I'm working versus my substitutes are working. One lady said, I'm like, how? You don't get packages. It's not like I come to your door with packages and the other person doesn't. She said, everybody else throws the mail in the back of the mailbox and you leave it up front. And I have to, get out of my car to get it when your substitute's working. And I'm like, oh my God, I would never even thought of that. But
well, now do you get Christmas cards with money in them and stuff, and holiday stuff and goodies, and people like, hey, I baked cookies. Here's an extra dozen for you.
I got a delicious, probably the best one I've ever had, peanut butter egg for Easter this year. It was a pretty good size one, and it was I love peanut butter. And normally homemade peanut butter eggs are just way too sweet for my taste. This was the perfect peanut butter egg.
Oh, dude, them peanut butter eggs are phenomenal. You can't eat them with a stick.
I definitely like my normal. Like I said, I don't even have to see them. I don't have to see them putting the mailbox in the mailbox. I just know by the time that they get there and how my mail is delivered, I know it was her. It wasn't her.
Well, don't blame your subs for being the substitute people for being late either. As a regular mail carrier, you work one route, you work that same route.
Oh, I know that.
You memorize absolutely every little bit of it. The substitutes might be working on 8, 10, 20, 40 different routes, depending on the size of your mailbox. My post office, we have 11 routes. So every substitute in the office is expected to know all 11 of those routes. And they just can't possibly know them as well as the regulars.
Well, for me, it's not the time. I really don't care about the time as long as my mail comes. It's how. Where are my packages at? things like that. Okay. Because I have an issue with Amazon. They do the toss. They drop it behind, like there's my car and there's my roommate's car. They'll drop it at the back end between our cars. They'll put them on the other side of the wall next to where the carport wall is on the roommate's side. The door's on the other side. I mean, it's like you can't see it unless you literally walk out there and look. I've found them behind my car. I have found packages. We literally go on scavenger hunts looking for our packages, and that's Amazon. And the subs, I relate to the Amazon deliveries because they do the same thing.
Well, we've all seen
my ex-sister-in-law, she just retired from the USPS. And I mean, I know she was a walker too. She was one of those. She worked like right outside of the main city. So she went up a road, back across, up little roads, back down, and back to the post office, you know? So, yeah, I know that the ones that work regularly work really hard. It's the ones that do the fill-in stuff that all of a sudden go, I'm not walking up to that door. I mean, it's 10 feet. It's 10 feet from where you left my package to my door. And you can't make it 10 feet.
Yeah, but if you're a substitute and you're already 3 hours late, you've got a postmaster back at the office saying, I don't get back here by 5 o'clock. I'm not staying late. You get back here. So that 10 feet times 600 mailboxes that day.
And we've all seen the news stories where behind some, store someplace they found 40 tubs of mail where the guy just went, I'm not doing that today. Now I get mail almost every single day and it's all friggin' junk mail. Donate here, donate there, the SPCA, I hate them people. Now they keep guys going, except for the fact that they get the bulk rate fees, which they shouldn't.
We have elections going on, fixing to. So most of my junk mail is vote for me. It's like,
well, I live in Pennsylvania, so I'm getting a whole lot of the "Don't vote for Dr. Oz" mail. Like that's coming from everybody. Like the Democrats.
Every time I hear his name, is that Dr. Oz? Like Dr. Oz? Yeah. Like the Dr. Oz?
The one from
the weird one from TV, yeah.
That moved from New Jersey to Pennsylvania so he could run for Senate.
Jesus.
Oh, what's his thing? What's
his platform? He's an actor.
Well, no. I mean, because I've noticed Ted Nugent has had him on his show several times, and
he's been on Sean Hannity several times, and all this. So, I don't trust him. He claims to be a conservative. He got Trump to endorse him. I don't trust him. He might very well. I don't know the guy. I do know that I've invited him to be on Liberty Lighthouse 3 times, and I never even got a response for him. So that's not look, he can reply and say, I don't do little tiny rinky-dink podcast shows like yours. Screw you. I would have been fine with that. But he didn't respond at all.
Well, I do know that I saw back when the Pokey Poke was first being kind of pushed out there, he was pushing for it.
Oh yeah.
I remember seeing an interview with him and what's that black lady that had the talk show? I can't remember what her name is, but I always wondered if she was
Oprah Winfrey.
No. The tall, slender. She looks kind of like a dude. God, I can't think of what her name is.
RuPaul. No, I can think of who you're talking about.
I've checked, and she's not a dude, at least that I can tell. But she kind of has that thing about her. She's really big, like Amazon tall. And she was like, I'm not getting it. And they were in an interview together, and he just really was like pushy about it. Why wouldn't you want to get it?
Well, now, if they had gone over to Mike Lindell's site, mypillow.com, and that could have maybe is why she looked so tall. She was actually sitting on one of those roll and go pillows that Brad Staggs is always talking about. That would have kind of, boosted her up in the seat a little bit, and she would have looked taller. Now, as far as her looking like a dude, I don't know if that's what's that song, Lola, drank champagne but talk like a dude or look like a lady or something along those lines.
Wendy
all you have to do is
Wendy Williams.
There you go. So she was talkative. They called her Wendy. Correct.
She's very tall. She has a very masculine voice, and she kind of has some masculine features. Well, we're fixing to go into a break. I'm not, I'm just stating, we got to be able to describe people, even though the police don't want to say if you're black or white or Mexican or whatever, because it's critical racial profiling,
You racist.
Yeah, I'm just like, whatever. I'm trying to describe the woman to you, and I can't help it. I have to say.
Ginger. Everybody always called you a ginger. How would you feel?
They do. Shiny. Everybody does. I got called a know-it-all, what, the other day. So, hey, whatever. I don't care.
It happens. Well, we get about what? 30 seconds?
You don't hear the music?
There's the music. Back in two, everybody.
Oh. I knew I'd figure it out. I put in black female talk show host.
There you go.
But I couldn't remember her name to save my life. But I always wondered a long time ago if she was a guy. Because, there's so many out there. And, yeah, but her and Dr. Oz were like having a very serious conversation I think it was on his show. And he just could not understand why she would not want to get the shot.
If you want to continue talking about Dr. Oz, I have a theory or two. I mean, he claims to be a conservative. He's done a whole lot of liberal stuff in his past, but we'll
save that for about 2 minutes and we'll do it on air.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. That's fine.
I didn't know if you wanted to, so
sure.
I'm
we
game.
Don't want
to preview.
I'm game. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know.
We'll generally have an idea of what we're gonna do a show about, and sometimes we follow our idea, and sometimes our ideas are like farts. They're fleeting and gone with the wind.
We like a good sidetrack.
I got Alan Trotter coming on the live stream tomorrow night, and he's doing all my show prep for me. He's doing a timeline and stuff. I'm like, all right, well, I've got a couple articles I printed.
We're not very organized at all. We do that little spot on Rhea's show now, and we have to be organized because we have like 15 minutes to say what we're gonna say, and then we send her the file, and she does what she does. And
there's a bunch of you guys are doing that. Barker's doing that. There's a bunch of people.
Well, he actually has an hour. We only have like a recording. Here we go.
And we just got 15.
Shh. Welcome back. Oh, goodness.
It's hard sitting like that.
I'm sorry. So if you missed the first half, we have Mr. Peter Serefine on with us, and we're kind of just following a little rabbit trail here.
Little rabbit trail. We were talking about Dr. Oz.
Mm-hmm.
We were.
Dr. Oz, that Dr. Oz, the TV show Dr. Oz, who lived in New Jersey until he decided to run for Senate and moved to Pennsylvania. and now he's running to replace Pat Toomey here in my Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. I don't like him. And I might be completely wrong about this. I just get a funny, weird feeling about Dr. Oz. He claims to be a conservative, and he's been on Hannity and all these conservative talk shows, and he talks a good game about being conservative, but he used to be a liberal. And I'm fine with somebody who used to be a liberal who has turned conservative, but he's never admitted it. I've never seen him once say anywhere, I learned, I've changed. Like Trump. Trump used to be a liberal.
Yeah, but I have my issues with Trump now too. So.
I have my issues with anybody, with every politician. I have issues.
But
with
I mean, as far as because I am a conspiracy theorist. I like to say I'm a realist, but things that I found out about Trump since I voted for him twice, even though he lost the last election, not legally. But, the fact that he is a 33-degree Mason, and that to me is kind of opens up some windows, because most of these evil elite people are 33-degree Masons or higher. So, yeah, it kind of makes me wonder if he wasn't part of the game. It was like good guy, bad guy. Trump's the good guy, but he's actually luring us all in to follow the piper.
Well, I don't like the whole everybody following Trump thing anyway.
I don't either.
Don't
blindly,
don't put all your hope in one man, unless that man's Jesus Christ. It ain't worth it.
Well, when everybody started treating him like an idol to me, and I've still got friends that when I go down Facebook, that's all you see is still stuff about what's going on and Trump this and Trump that. And I mean, it's like, I know that he lost the election because of cheating. I know all this stuff, but I also know other things about Trump, like what his daughter's involved in that has to do with what will lead to Agenda 2130. She's involved in some of that. And you just have to start wondering, like I said, was this just a game? And we were all part of the ploy Trump, and everybody's eyes are on Trump. And meanwhile, all this stuff is going on around us. And he's no better than Biden being Obama's puppet. I mean, to me, there's a plan, and that plan is going on. We aren't seeing it because all we're doing is we're looking at Trump.
The plan's going on no matter who has the White House. And I've been saying,
I agree.
For the 3 years that I've hosted Liberty Lighthouse, stop putting all of your faith in whoever's in the White House. They don't really have that much power.
Exactly. Thank you.
They're whom we see. The people driving the boat are all the people underneath them running the departments below that big desk.
But even there, you've got local offices. The Department of Education. Hate the Department of Education. I think it should be abolished again, because it was already abolished once.
Right there.
It just keeps coming back like a cockroach.
Yeah. So the Department of Education needs to be abolished. Yes. Okay. How do you make that happen? Well, for one, you get local school boards that will tell them F off. The Department of Education doesn't have any freaking power. All they have is money. And if your local school board can say, screw you, we don't need your money, we'll do it ourselves our way, then you've just ripped all of the power away from the Department of Education. And that goes with every federal department and agency. If your local government is willing to stand up and say, sorry, we don't need your money, because that's all the federal government has, is they have the money to hold out in front of these local governments and say, hey, that road that you wanted? Well, if you'll do X, Y, and Z, we'll give you the money for that road over there. So if your local government can say, shove it, we don't need your money, your local government can ignore pretty much everything from the federal government and make it moot. Which you mentioned the stolen election last time around. Are you a judge of elections or inspector of elections in your town?
Mm-mm.
Why
I know.
not?
I thought about that since finding out what you do. So.
Why not? Here in my little town, there are 100 judge of elections and inspector of elections positions open. There are 3,000 counties. I'm sorry, that was in my county. There are over 3,000 counties in this country, which means that there are most likely 300,000 election administration positions that are vacant right now.
Mm-hmm.
If everybody's so hell bent that the last election was stolen, why didn't anybody run for those jobs? It's 2 days of work a year.
I agree.
That's why I went out and did this, got my badge, and became constable, because in Pennsylvania, the constable's the only law enforcement allowed at the polling stations on election day.
Yeah.
That's why I took the job.
I mean, it's like here, I've been trying to pay closer attention to the people that are running here locally, as opposed to paying attention to who's going there. And it's like, because in my opinion, Kemp screwed us. He didn't do anything about the election. He has screwed us left and right. He suddenly, now that we're in the time of everybody's running for that government position again, he suddenly has passed constitutional carry, which everybody's asked him to for I don't know how long. Why now? Why all of a sudden is he signed that bill and everything else? I'm happy because I don't have my license anymore because of COVID, but it just irritates me because to me it's like a ploy to keep him in there. I mean, the lady that I'm actually prepared to vote for, she's running on guns, God, and babies. She's anti-abortion. She's very, into the church. She has never had a political position. She has done various jobs throughout where she lived, school-wise and government type of jobs, but not government jobs. So I like her. I think that she'll do good in there, in that position and stuff. But it has to start at home. It has to, whoever we get in the office at home, not there.
Right.
Well, actually, you have to look at both. You have to keep track of who you're sending to Capitol Hill, as well as who's sitting on, part of your city council right here in your own hometown. You have to know both. Both are equally as important. And with everything as screwed up as it's getting, I mean, we haven't gotten hit by the big rock yet, but I mean, we might as well have. It's getting really, 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 really bad. The only thing I can suggest to people is to go to preparewithmojo50.com. And once you do go to preparewithmojo50.com, you'll find the 3-month supply of grub for $100 off, I do believe, if memory serves right. And that's 2,000 calories per person of meals, and it'll keep you fed, happy. That's breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks. And as far as those snacks go, Mr. Brad Staggs really likes them banana chips. They seem to evaporate in the air for some reason. So pop on over to preparewithmojo50.com and get yourself covered, because it's coming. It's getting deeper. A lot of the politicians,
you see why I make him do them.
The politicians treat us like we're, back in France in the 1700s, and, Marie's going, let them eat cake. I'm having my caviar and tuna. And it's not going to happen. You kick a dog long enough, it will reach up and bite your ass, and bite it goodly. I have a feeling that's what's going to have to happen.
That's what the whole plan is, though. The whole plan is to make us the little slaves, and, they sit back and do their little thing.
Well, those elected folk in Washington are only 4% of the elected folk in this country. 96% of them are state and local. So when the 96, if you can get enough of that 96 to stand up against the 4 on our behalf, then, hey, look, we might be able to avoid a second revolution if we can get right politicians to do it.
But then you got people like Dr. Oz, who will move to another state just so he can run for a position instead of what's wrong with his state?
There's not a Senate
Joycey?
open.
I've been to Joycey. I've been
I
to
know,
Atlantic City.
I'm just saying, you know,
It's just
why
like Hillary
do you
Clinton
move?
moving to, it's just like Hillary Clinton moving to New York because that's where the Senate seat was.
True.
Mhm.
It just
And they get away with it.
irritating.
But
All they want to do
people-
is line their pockets. They have no desire to do anything for the state. Oz, I would call him a plastic politician. I don't know if his plastic surgery was his main gig, but he reminds me of oh God, what's that actor's name? Hamilton. That's always running around tan. George Hamilton, always perfectly tanned, always perfectly been. That's what Dr. Oz reminds me of. Is a Hamilton kind of person, but playing a doctor. You know, everything is just so precise and precise. All he's going to do is trying to line his pockets and make money. He wants to be like the other politicians on the Hill, and the ones that do go that direction with the intent of I am going to do good. The first thing they get told when they walk in the door, you are nothing. You will start making money for the party, and that's it. You buck the system and you get kicked out. I think that new kid that says he got invited to the party and they said, dude, they were doing cocaine and they wanted, I think that's how they get them. They get you in one of them parties, you get blasted and they get you on tape. You will do what they say, or those tapes will get released. But
this is what opinion. I see. I mean, you got people like Hillary, like Dr. Oz, and God knows how many others who move to another state to run for the Senate to represent the state that they just moved to. They don't care about that state. That's not their home state. They could care less what happens. You know, I mean, why? Why would you even vote in someone who does not have your state for their interest?
And that's the way I mean, Hillary should have been rejected, and I hope Pennsylvania rejects Dr. Oz for the same reason. You're not of the state. And yeah.
I don't get it.
At least Sarah could see Russia from her front porch, you know. He was from the state.
Russia.
We need more than a handful or a couple of dozen, constitutionalist, freedom-loving, libertarian types in Washington, D.C. We need hundreds. Like, it needs to be a wave so big that the party leadership can't push him around, that their block becomes the block.
Mm-hmm. That's what gets me. I've been in Kentucky now 20-some odd years.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know that happens. 40 more grand and I can move. I almost got the house paid for.
Hey, I hate to say it, but he's better off in Kentucky than over on the West Coast.
Yeah, I know. I would get close, but not quite there. Maybe Arizona. But I voted for McConnell probably the first time or two, when I thought he was doing good. And then I learned I have not voted for McConnell since. I vote for almost anybody other than. And it does, I mean, Cocaine Mitch is still up there driving the damn boat. Him, Feinstein. I think they have a pact with something that says you will be here until the meteorite hits. And if I could figure out what dance we do to draw that fire truck and meteorite in, baby, I would be doing it overtime. Because them boys, they got to go, but they just won't.
Nope.
Like a hemorrhoid. It doesn't matter what you do to it. It's still a pain in your ass.
They made a deal with Man Bear Pig.
Man, bear, pig. Yeah, I don't.
Oh my God.
What are you doing down there that's so important?
Well, I was looking at something because I wanted to check something. It's like, because everybody that's running for our Senate right now, I think Green's rerunning again. But then you got Warnock and you got Stacey Abrams. And it's like,
that broad needs to be in jail.
Well, people aren't voting for the right reasons. They're voting, she's female, she's black, he's black, it's not a matter of what they do or how legit they are or how they care about the state or they care about the country or anything else. It's all based on race and gender.
Part of that is what Pastor Alan Trotter and I are going to talk about in the Liberty Lighthouse live stream tomorrow night, is what role has the church played in allowing the complete destruction of American morality?
You don't want me to get started on that? I mean, seriously, it's okay, because I tell everybody all the time, I've been in church my whole life, but not like I am now, because I see what's going on. I went down the rabbit hole. I saw the evil, not just these dirty, crooked people, but the evil that's going on and things happening. And I ran right back to, God and all that other kind of stuff. And that's where I'm finding out how watered down the churches have become. They preach all this love and happiness, and they say what the parishioners want them to, they're all, it's okay if you sin. It's okay. In the video, the one with the pastor in Iowa, I think it was Iowa, the pronoun prayer. I'm serious. I mean, I'm just like, excuse me? What God is she praying to? Because it is very clear in the Bible. Everything in the Bible does not go with this pronoun, he, she, all that kind of stuff. I'm sorry.
They have he's and hers and hims and these
not
and thous.
In the sense that they were praying.
Those zims, zeds, and zers.
Yeah.
No, there ain't none of them.
It's like,
they celebrated the 420 holiday in earnest. In those days, they used real rocks when they got stoned.
Well, it's like they're teaching that it's okay to go out and do what you want. And it's funny because people don't realize, and I think it's written somewhere. I can't remember exactly where, but it's the satanic pledge, basically, that you do what you want. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter who you hurt. Doesn't matter what you're doing, what laws you're breaking, anything else. You do what you want.
The church today has gone from welcoming to condoning. Like, a church should always be welcoming of sinners. They want sinners to come in. Everybody
welcoming
is welcome in the church. But the
object is to welcome you in, teach you about God, and help you to get to a point of repentance.
But that's offensive.
Away from your sin.
But that's offensive.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Now they're like, you're welcome. You can sing in our choir. You can, they got people singing in the choir that it's an abomination in God's eyes, what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's just, this boils me all day long, every day. It just, that is one of my biggest things, because that is the corrupt, everybody keeps saying we need to get out of Babylon. We are in Babylon right now. This is Babylon. These churches saying, hey, come on in. It's okay. You're a sinner. We're all sinners. It's okay.
I'm kind of reminded of the consequences of Sodom and Gomorrah. Did they get nuked? So who knows?
What do you think's fixing to hit us?
We keep our fingers crossed.
What do you think is coming to us? There have been warning after warning after warning after warning, and people are not hearing those warnings. Get out of Babylon. Get right with God. They're not doing it. They're not doing it. Instead, it's all about let's go kill babies after they're born, for 1 month after they're born. Somebody told me that the other day. I can't remember what state it was or something, but literally 1 month after they're born.
Yeah, because up until birth isn't good enough. You need another month to decide whether or not it's murder.
It's disgusting.
And I said tomorrow I forgot. We're recording on Wednesday. It's not going to be out. So it's actually, it was Thursday when we had that conversation. It was a great conversation. You should go back and listen to Liberty Lighthouse from yesterday. It was fabulous.
From last Thursday, it was great.
Me and Alan talking in chat during Mojo all the time. So yeah, we've had some pretty cool conversations and stuff. But yeah,
it's crazy what
all we can do is pray.
We have de-evolved to. And a lot of it, in my opinion, started with political correctness. When you go, oh, you can't say that. I mean, when I grew up as a kid, you went to somebody's house for a birthday party. You took them a gift. You got back the cake and ice cream that you mowed on. That's what you got. Now, you maybe played a game and won some kind of little silly prize, but you only got that because you won at the game. If you lost it dropping the clothespin down the milk bottle, oh, well, Johnny, you just got tattooed and screwed again. You got nothing. And anymore, if you go to a birthday party, you come home with a swag bag. It's like, what did all that crap start? What the hell?
Than trophies. Everybody gets a trophy. Political correctness is tyranny, just tyranny with manners.
That's great.
But I mean, it is. It's just like I know it started before this because I know the indoctrination's been going on for years. But what was it, like 20 years ago when they started the participation trophy? You don't have a best anything anymore. Why do people even strive to try?
Right.
Why?
Well, they don't. You just grow your hair longer and say you're a broad now and win it that way.
Yeah.
Competition is good. Competition makes you a better person.
That's my opinion.
We've got schools that are getting rid of the salutatorian and valedictorian labels, but they're allowing, black only graduations. We're the political correctness thing about, you have to have your little safe spaces in college because God forbid somebody might hurt your feelings. And in the participation trophies, it's all about destroying the entire idea of competition.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in all honesty,
I even read an article where they don't do. Sorry, go ahead, Jimmy.
I wasn't even happy with when they started coming down on the spanking. I understand abuse. I totally get abuse.
Keep your personal preferences out of this conversation.
But I mean, seriously, I got my butt whooped when I was a kid, and there was no go stand in the corner, you're in timeout or anything like that. It was you got your butt whooped and sent to your room and grounded for who knows how long. It's like these kids get a little slap on the hand and don't do that again, Johnny. I mean, why? We're raising a bunch of people that don't even know how to work, don't know how to do anything, and they go to college and get these stupid arts degrees that they aren't going to do anything with, and then want us to pay for it. I mean, what is up with this?
Well, it's proof that it works because we're on, thanks to Liberty Lighthouse, we're on day 772 of the 14 to smooth it out. Just give us 2 weeks and we can do this.
4 weeks to decide whether or not they still needed masks on airplanes. They needed 2 more weeks. They only did a 2-week extension to reevaluate the science because, in the last.
And you still need it. You still need it in the airport, just not on the airplane. You have to wear it in. But once you get on the plane, you can take it off.
You need 1, but then you need 2, and then you need 3, and then you need 4. Oh, and then don't worry, you don't need it.
Personally, everybody that thinks they need a mask should put on a cellophane mask that goes completely from ear to ear about 4 times and wait about 9 minutes. I guarantee COVID will not bother them. I promise. That's all it would take. Everybody that thinks it's a necessity, about 4 good wraps, 8 minutes.
I say go smoke you some menthol cigarettes.
Cool and grape sodas, huh? Well, 420 is a holiday.
Seriously though, I mean, like I keep telling everyone, I honestly think we are drawing to a close. I think that people better start getting their houses straight and, stop this. I mean, right now at this point, the Bible says, are you of the world or are you of God? And I have to say that a lot of people that claim that they're Christians are not of God. They're running with the world.
Right. The church is running with the world at this point.
Yes, and they are very, look at all these money-making pastors out there, and I mean, it's like, they got the Hillsong video or the documentary out now that apparently is blowing the water up on them. So I'm hoping that might open some people's eyes to the truth of what is really going on in the church. It's not good. It's not good at all.
No. When it says as of this world, do they mean not drinking APR coffee? Because DM's getting ready to start up his next batch of AmericanPrideRoasters.com coffee. I mean, they've got the Frederick Douglass, they've got the donut hole on the roof, the bacon blast. I mean, all you have to do is go over to AmericanPrideRoasters.com. It's AmericanPrideRoasters.com.
Okay.
Beeps.
He should
Peter,
you want to segues.
You want to tell them where they can find you at?
Find everything. Find my books. Find the Liberty Minute, the Liberty Lighthouse, everything that I do at liberty-lighthouse.com.
Well, it was great having you on.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much for being on with us this evening. It's been great.
Yeah, when you get more time sometime, we may have to do this again. This was fun.
When you don't have as many shows scheduled at the same time, when you actually get a minute, maybe.
All of a sudden, everybody wants to interview me about my, one about my book and one about the Liberty Minute, and you guys about a Twitter thing that I did. And I went like 3 years, nobody knew who I was. Now all of a sudden, everybody wants to talk to me.
Well,
popularity. Now, if we can just get everybody to send you $1,
right.
Well, if the meteorite doesn't hit us too soon and things clear up in your schedule, let us know and we'll definitely set something up because this was enjoyable. I hope everybody enjoys it as much as I have.
I always have fun when I talk to fun people.
Funny people. Everybody. See, I got to remember to turn my camera off. Damn.
We'll see everybody next Sunday, 12 o'clock. Bye.